Welcome back. Well, October means a few other things besides Halloween and pumpkins, of course.
That's
Dave.
right.
And we're here talking also to Ann Potthast about October, which is also National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And Ann is with YWCA. Ann, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And what's your position with YWCA? What is it that you do? And can you explain a bit about the organization to us?
Sure. I'm working for the Legal Service Department. I direct the legal services. We have 2 attorneys who represent victims of domestic violence in peace and protective order matters. We have 2 civil advocates who work out in the courthouses to meet and greet the public and help them fill out their forms. We go to court and we represent them in the hearings, and hopefully we can get them protective orders that assist them in their safety planning.
And you were telling us off camera that you get quite a few. Give us an idea of how many protective orders you're dealing with on an annual basis from Anne Arundel County.
Well, our office gets over 2,000 inquiries from the general public for different advice and assistance. We represent in over 400 hearings a year, and that is about 300 to 400 clients each year.
I think that would be surprising to people. That's a pretty large number.
It's surprising to me.
Well, what most people don't know about domestic violence is that 1 in 3 women will have suffered an assault from their intimate partner in their lifetime, and that 50% of the people who abuse a spouse in a home where there's children also abuse the children. So there are a lot of inquiries, especially on behalf of the children.
And I think a lot of folks say, and we were discussing this off camera as well, why not just get out of the situation? But there's a lot of factors that weigh into that decision. Can you talk about that briefly?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest myth about domestic violence, is that it's somehow easy to leave. It really isn't. Someone who's been beaten may have spent 2 years or 3 years being put down. It always starts with verbal abuse, and then it escalates to physical abuse, and that escalation can lead to strangulation. And if someone's being strangled, then they're much higher on the scale for lethality. So what most people don't understand is that this person, they're darned if they do, they're darned if they don't, and they're very concerned about their safety and their children's safety. They've often been told that they won't get the kids if they go to court, and they're very frightened that they'll lose their children, or that they'll be homeless, or that the abuser will make good on a threat to kill them or a family member.
It seems like the safest thing to do as a first step, no matter what your situation is to call.
Yes. Our number is 410-626-7800 for information, and there are a whole bunch of services that YWCA offers. I've told you about the legal services. We have counseling for victims. There's services for offenders, an abuse intervention program to help them try not to reoffend and to sort of work through why it is that they're trying to control their partner. This is not about anger, it's about power and control. That they're often very able to control their anger. It's just when they use their anger to control somebody, that's the issue. And our program is really the only program licensed in Anne Arundel County to address that power and control issue.
Would that phone number be also a good resource for someone who might be witnessing this from the outside?
Yes, I have a lot of inquiries where people like a mother or sister or a friend comes in and they do a consult with us to find out what they can do to help their loved one. The number one thing is not to pressure them to leave. It's to be supportive and ask them, to listen and to ask them what they can do to help and to provide information.
Let's talk a bit, Ann, about the Capital campaign.
Yes.
And just highlight what you guys are trying to do and accomplish.
Well, right now we have the only safe house in Anne Arundel County for people fleeing and needing a place to stay that's undisclosed. Well, the vision or the dream is to have a campus where we can develop some sustainability for this person so that they can be independent, because often they're financially dependent, their self-esteem is very low, they're worried about their children's schooling, just a million different things. And with this new campus, we're going to have the safe housing, but also work on transitional aspects and more permanent housing, trying to help them be confident enough to look for employment and become independent.
That sounds wonderful.
And I think hearing you speak on this issue, a lot of people might be motivated to want to try and help in some way. You do take volunteers for the YWCA, correct?
Absolutely. The same number, 410-626-7800. We have a volunteer orientation from time to time, periodically throughout the year. Those volunteers can work in our safe house, provided they pass all the background checks, or with our advocates out at the court, where they can meet and greet the public and help provide resources to them, help them with information, filling out their forms, connecting them with us, the attorneys who represent. And at the Safe House, there's many, many chores to maintain and take care of the Safe House and to make the people feel secure and welcome.
And we're such as a society, so socially media driven. And we were talking about how it's important to highlight this issue and have a discussion about it. You mentioned a few hashtags as well. And what are those hashtags again?
Well, I found with recent news in the last few years that the issue of whether or not the person should have left comes up often. And there's nothing more that makes a victim feel more pressured than people thinking that it's easy for them to leave. So over those newsworthy events, the hashtag why I stayed and hashtag why I left were plugged in, and there were some lively discussions, friendly discussions, but lively discussions where a lot of the public was educated as to, why this person was staying with a violent person. And again, as I highlighted before, it's not an easy decision to make. It's very frightening.
Absolutely. One more time, just for viewers out there, the phone number and a website, if you have it, in case folks want more information.
So the website is www.annapolisywwca.org. Again, www.annapolisywwca.org. And the phone number at the Y is 410-626-7800. And I really urge anybody who is suspicious that a friend or a loved one is suffering from domestic violence to call us. And the symptoms of that, they could be withdrawn. They might not be social anymore when they used to be social. They may be answering 400 texts a day from their intimate partner. They may not feel confident when they were a confident person. If you notice somebody withdrawing like that, give us a call.
Anne, thank you so much for coming on, highlighting this important issue. Best of luck with the closing of your campaign as well.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. And out there, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Week in Review right after this.